Okay, hi everybody. This is Matt with Kaleo Coffee Roasters. I'm here today to show you how to make a cappuccino with a Bialetti mocha pot, and a French press. Um, we could use the bitchin' La Marzocco Linea Mini that I have behind me. Those things are really expensive though, and probably out of the reach of most home consumers. Fortunately, I have one for the business, and it helps me very, very much in profiling my espresso to as closely match the coffee you would get out of a cafe. But like I said, since that's somewhat out of reach for a lot of people, this is more likely something that you would probably either already have in your cupboard or is easily accessible through Amazon. This whole kit that we have actually right here, a Bialetti 3 cup. This is actually a 1 cup. This is a Bialetti 3 cup. This is a 12 ounce, a Bodum French press, and then we have two glasses made from Bodum that are just like the one that I have right here. These are the double wall insulated um, glasses that I actually use this one for espresso. But anyway, we got this whole entire kit right here for under $100. I think it was all $89. And actually, we're going to give the kit away to one of you lucky viewers or Instagrammers or taggers or whatever you guys are, whatever they're called. I don't know. Anyway, so without any further ado, what we have here is I have this is my personal little setup here. So I'm gonna make a I'm gonna make a cappuccino using my equipment, and we're using the Kaleo Coffee Foreman Espresso blend. This is a really great coffee blend. It is 50% Guatemala, 50% Colombia. We roasted to about 405 degrees, so it's kind of a medium roast for most people. And so we're going to be using this coffee today. And actually, the giveaway, we're actually including a bag of coffee to go with that. So this is everything that we're going to send off to whoever the lucky winner is. Anyway, like I said, without any further ado, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make one with this, and then we're going to make another cappuccino with the $5,000 coffee aficionado setup, and we're going to see which one's better. Okay, so we're going to get the espresso going with the Bialetti mocha pot. And what we do with this thing here is you have the top part where the coffee ends up um, residing when it's all said and done. This is where the coffee goes, and this is where the water goes. You always want to make your Bialetti mocha pots, or any mocha pot for that matter. Bialetti is just the brand. You always want to make your mocha pots with hot water already in it. That's a mistake that a lot of people make, is they start off with cold water in here. If you do that, then your the mocha pot sits on the stove for way too long, and it ends up charring the coffee and just making it terrible. So start off with hot water. So we've already got our hot water kettle over here, and I'm actually going to put it on top of a pot holder. You'll see where that comes in handy here in a little bit. But I'm going to put this in here, and I'm going to fill it up to just below that little valve right there. You see that valve right here? That's a little safety valve that keeps the pressure inside from getting too high. If the pressure actually did get too high, because you're actually boiling water inside here and creating steam, and it's pressurizing the vessel and pushing the water up through here and back out there. Anyway, long physics story. Not really sure how all of it goes, but you're creating steam, and you got to have that safety valve there. Anyway, I digress. You just need to get the water just below that safety valve. You don't want to cover the safety valve. All right, so then I'm going to just throw my 12 grams of coffee, and I'm using 12 grams because this is just a single cup, and a 3 cup one like this is probably going to be more like 18, maybe 20 grams of coffee. I don't know. I haven't opened that one up, but I would imagine that's about where you're going to be. And then on my grinder, I have this thing set at the absolute finest it will go, which is pretty much espresso grind. All right, and that's pretty fine. That's kind of like powdered sugar a little bit. So we're just going to kind of carefully put this inside the little cup here, tap it a little bit. You're going to make a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. All right, I'm just going to kind of pat that around here, make sure we don't have any sticking up. It's going to come too high. There's nothing really that scientific or exact about this whole process here. So you can just put that guy right there. and spin this on. And now you're going to see why I have that thing underneath there, because it gives it a little bit of a grip. But you also have, because you've got hot water in there. It was 210 degrees when I put it in there. So this thing's pretty hot now. So you don't really want to touch that. Okay. And now we're going to go over here and put it on the stove, and we're going to wait for it to bubble up. Okay, so while we're waiting for that to get going, we're also going to start on our milk. So I'm using oat milk today. It is, I'm actually using the Oatly oat milk full fat. So this actually is available at Sprouts. That's where I got it from. I'm pretty sure you can get it most anywhere nowadays. Um, I'm using this because I usually use the Barista blend oat milk. Same thing, made by the same company. This one has a little extra additives in it to make it so that it'll stretch and steam with the espresso machine. But I'm trying to figure something out so that I don't have to spend so much money on milk, and so I can use pretty much whatever's in the refrigerator, because that's probably what you're going to be doing. So we have a bunch of milk already in our pot over here, and I've got a thermometer inside that pot, and I'll show you that later. But we're going to start getting that milk going as well. They're probably going to finish around the same time, so we'll be quick with it. And so while those are cooking, I may as well just go ahead and make the cappuccino on the espresso machine. So come along while we do that. Okay, it's only been maybe about a minute since we put that mocha pot on, and it's already done. You see the mocha pot's just finishing up there. You kind of see that's how the mocha pot does. It just kind of spews a little bit into that top reservoir. So we're actually going to put that into its cup right now. So we'll put that one in there. And we're just going to put that aside and get our milk out of the way. And it looks like our oat milk is pretty much ready to go on the stove as well. So we're going to finish up this espresso here. Or I'm sorry, finish up this cappuccino. Okay, there's that one. Okay, now here's where the trick comes in with this. You're probably wondering, how the heck is he going to get steamed milk with a French press? What you do is you take this French press, and because you got this little plunger in here, you take your milk and you put it inside the French press. And all you really need to do is introduce air into this. And that's essentially what the steam one does. Is it does add some heat and a little bit of water and whatnot, a lot of different physics going on there. But essentially, you're doing the same thing here. So we're just going to add a bunch of air to this by plunging this. And you see I've got the spout pointed that way because I don't want this stuff to come back on me. Highly unlikely that's going to, with the little bit of volume that I actually have in here. But this is all you're really doing. You just add in some air to it, and it's probably quite enough right there. All right, it looks pretty good. There's a lot more big bubbles in this compared to like when you use an espresso machine and you have the microphone, but that's okay. It's looking pretty good. All right. I would have to argue, well, first of all, let's not judge me on my latte art. That's not what we're here for, people. Um, but I would almost argue that it's looking pretty good. This one actually here looks nice and mixed pretty well. And this one here, you can obviously see the stratification in it, obviously because it's been sitting a little bit longer. This one might stratify a little bit more. But this one was also made with the Barista blend almond milk. And this one was made with the regular oat milk that is actually the full fat, full fat. So let's see here. That is actually a really good cappuccino. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about that. That would rival any cappuccino you would get at a specialty coffee shop. And the equipment used is about $90. And this one here, still really good. Um, I will admit I'm using old beans in the hopper because I didn't want to waste a whole bunch of coffee while I figured this thing out, and I just ended up using old beans in the hopper. So shame on me for that. But this one's a little bit hotter too, so I may have steamed the milk a little bit longer, which um, is a good thing for using this thing here because I had the thermometer in there. So maybe if I would have had my controls a little bit tighter on the one from the espresso machine, we could argue that it would have been better, but this one here is actually pretty darn good. So it's about 4 o'clock. This is about the time that I usually shut down and stop drinking coffee. So I'm gonna finish up with this one and the one out of the espresso machine. Hmm, we'll save it for another day. Cheers, everybody. Thank you. Okay, if anybody's wanting to see a close-up of these products that we used, this is the Oatly that I used on the cappuccino out of the French press. And this is the Oatly that I used on the cappuccino from the espresso machine. And this is the grinder that I use. This is a Baratza Virtuoso. And this is the kettle that I use. This is a fellow Stagg. It is phenomenal. It does a lot of things. The coolest thing that it has is the countdown timer, if you can see that. Um, when you're making your brew, you can just set that timer, and every time you pick the kettle up, put it back down, it keeps counting. It's fantastic. Then I have the Akaya Black Pearl, and we have the Akaya Lunar Scale, La Marzocco Linea Home, and then we have the La Marzocco Lux D, aka Mazzer grinder. All right. Well, that's our setup, everybody. And if you want to know more about me, this pretty much sums it up. Okay, and if you're wanting to know more about the giveaway, this is a Bialetti Moka pot. It's a 3 cup. So this is what is going to be included in the box. We've got a bag of Clio coffee, Foreman organic espresso, 12 ounces. This was just roasted just a couple days ago, so pretty darn fresh. And then we've got the Bodum Pavina double wall thermal glass. These things are really, really nice. If you don't have any, you're going to be stoked to get those. And then we have just a regular old French press that you'll probably find in 95% of American kitchens. So, all right, folks. Well, thanks for watching.